Amreen, I'm finding this conversation so juicy, like for lack of a better word, but so much wisdom in what you've shared. A couple of threads I'd love to pick up on, and I really your kind of distinction between diversity and inclusion really resonated. Something I talk about in my work with clients is really this idea that diversity is actually a byproduct. If you've actually done inclusion and equity well, then sometimes a knee-jerk reaction is we need to diversify and hire different people, but the work hasn't been done to make sure the culture is actually safe for folks to be truly celebrated, have access to meaningful decision making. And so I'm hearing so much in what you offered. And then you talked about allies, about kind of thinking about what's the role for allies, and I'm thinking about our viewers here, that whether you're someone who sees yourself in Amreen's experience, or perhaps one of our experiences, or you're somebody who is perhaps someone who holds a considerable amount of power, privilege, platform, and to think about what can you do to carve out more space for folks who deserve a space in this sector, that it's needed. I'm thinking about innovation, and I think I saw a statistic that says, like in Canada, there's women are 25% in STEM, and that might not be the most accurate in this moment, but just to sit with that number of and what can we do to meaningfully make space. And so you did offer some advice for people in STEM, but maybe if we shifted to allies, what would be the ask? Because you've also talked about places maybe you were supported. What would be some things that allies can do to bridge these gaps and to make the STEM more accessible for women?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, it's very important to have that patience to listen. Allyship itself, again, has become a buzzword in itself, and there's no lack of performative allyship in many places, right? But if you want to be a truly and effective ally, give that space to hold those conversations and to be a listener and truly trying to understand what the issues are, and whatever privilege and whatever power you hold, to share some of that, right? So I'll give you an example. From a work perspective, right? If you have an employee who's a person of color and she's doing a great job, or he's doing a great job, but she's not able to advocate for herself, right? And it might be a cultural thing. We feel that advocating for ourselves is boastful. Yeah. It's not. I'll correct it right now. It is not. But many people might feel that way. But if you're truly recognizing that work and speak their name in rooms where they're not present. So and that's sponsorship, right? And that's how the needle moves. That's how people advance. If those names are not spoken in the rooms that they are not present in, how will people know, right? So sponsorship is a very critical component of any sort of progression or advancement. So I would highly recommend or encourage allies to do that. Or if you yourself don't hold that power, then at least be a mentor, right? So be a mentor, share your experiences, or share your advice to the person that you're looking to looking to benefit. And yeah, there's those two are really key actions that any ally can take. And also, once they've learned something, I'm hoping that from those conversations, the ally has learned something, he or she can share it with their community too, for that greater awareness and for that greater learning moment. So I think, yeah, those would be effective in my opinion.